I wanted to test out this light, so I called a model over to the studio to see what this light could do. I was thinking, if this little light can handle a photo shoot, it's gonna find a permanent home in my camera bag. For the first look, I did the standard one light setup with the light up and to the right of the model. This creates some shadows on the model's face and background that add depth and character to the image. I took the grid off the modifier as it was creating too much of a spotlight. I think this light modifier just isn't big enough to use a grid with, but anyway, that's just my opinion. I was able to shoot at f1.4, 1/25th of a second, and ISO 200, which is really respectable. Overall, I'd say I'm really happy with the first look. I often like to put lights behind my subject to create visual drama in my images. Sometimes lights are way too intense and completely wash out the image. I'm happy to say that the Molus X60 creates a good visual effect without dominating the image. I was able to maintain my f1.4 aperture at 1/25th of a second and ISO 200, and I gotta say, I really like the glow that's created by the light. This is pretty cool, although I mean obviously with no light on the subject matter's face, her face is a little bit dark, but you get the picture. For the third look, I changed things up and used diffused window light as my main key light and set up the X60 behind the model as a hair light, giving her a nice ethereal glow. It's a fun light setup that adds a unique sense of intrigue to a shot. I also set the Kelvin temp on the light to be slightly warmer than daylight to give her a nice warm glow. For the last look, I switched out the mini softbox for the reflector diffuser kit that comes standard with the light. I set up the light close to and just above the camera with a warmer Kelvin temp to minimize the length of the shadows and create a warmer feel to the images overall. This light modifier kicks out a more intense light, so I bumped up my shutter speed to 250th of a second to compensate, but you can also just lower the power of the light. So far, I have to say I'm really loving this light, and it's gonna definitely find a home in my camera bag.